Rebecca Mello grew up in Brazil. She faced some of her toughest days in North Carolina.
It was a horror living there.
A former Word of Faith Fellowship member, she moved there in 2009 on a student visa, had her passport taken, and was put to work for little or no pay in a church family's home.
We're made to get up early, make the kids breakfast, cook, do their beds, pick up their laundry.
An Associated Press investigation found evidence of the Word of Faith Fellowship using its 2 churches in Brazil to funnel hundreds of young laborers to the United States to work for little or no pay in businesses owned by church ministers. 16 former church members tell the AP they face verbal or physical abuse at the hands of church ministers in the U.S. and in Brazil during screaming prayers called blasting. Tiago Silva did backbreaking work such as construction.
We were there working, but we never got paid. If you're not paid for something, even for your food, I would say that you're a slave.
Over 20 years, Anna Albuquerque traveled 11 times from Brazil to North Carolina. She asked that we not show her face.
The first time you go, they treat you well, but afterwards, they start treating you bad.
The revelations of forced labor are part of an ongoing AP investigation into the Word of Faith Fellowship, a church with more than 2,000 members in the U.S., Brazil, and Ghana. It has affiliations around the world.
It's come to the point where you don't think for yourself when you're in there. Someone tells you what to do, and you just do it.
The AP in February, based on exclusive interviews with 43 former church members, reported they too were physically abused during blasting. The latest AP investigation documents abuses of tourist and student visas. Former church members say they'd often first arrive from Brazil on tourist visas, sometimes 20 or 30 at a time. Under federal law, they aren't allowed to work in the United States.
They all had the same visas, they all had the same rules and restrictions, and they all still worked 16 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Some Brazilians worked under former church member Jay Plummer. They too had their passports taken.
When you're a foreigner, if you don't have your passport, you can't go anywhere. You can't run down the street and ask for help without your passport. And they know that.
The church's founder, Jane Whaley, did not respond to the AP's request for interviews.
Being here, going through all that, and having to make a life alone, being a foreigner, it's very hard, and that's the reality for a lot of us foreigners.
A human pipeline going unchecked for years. Alex Sands, The Associated Press, Spindale, North Carolina.